What's up, guys? Welcome to the Vikings Now by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Siepman. Coming up on today's show, we got an interesting one. Does Kirk Cousins have interest in joining up with Bill Belichick and the Atlanta Falcons? He had a super interesting quote about that possibility, which we'll show you guys here in a second. But Kirk, there's a lot of rumors around him. So we'll be breaking down this one on today's show about him and the Falcons. But guys, before we show you that Kirk Cousins quote around Bill Belichick, help us out here. We are actually in a sub battle right now with our Saints channel here at Chat Sports. And I was thinking about this. If I had to pick any team in the NFL, outside of the division, of course, that I hate the most, it is most definitely those boys down there in New Orleans. Still got 2009 in the back of my head. So if you guys want to help me out and just help me beat my man Trace Gerard in subscribers up until the next NFL season gets underway, help us out. Hit that sub button. We only need 10 more of you guys until we do hit 22K. So if you guys are new here and want to go to Vikings YouTube channel, we got you covered. Anything around free agency, the draft, or even this Kirk Cousins quote around Bill Belichick, we'll have a video for you guys. So hit that sub button and help me out. It'll really mean a lot. But let's dive into the quote on what Kirk Cousins said about possibly joining up with Billy B. He said, "I'm not going to turn down an opportunity to play with a future Hall of Fame coach, but we would just have to wait to see where March leads. It's just a lot of unknowns right now." And hey, listen, if I'm Kirk Cousins too, and I'm kind of on the, I'll say the back nine of my career, and you have a chance to go play for Bill Belichick, obviously he's going to take that chance, because I think Kirk Cousins is probably looking at his career, and he says, I have been let down by my defense countless times. I have done great. I have put up the numbers. I have led top 10 offenses in the NFL. And if I could go team up with Bill Belichick, who I can almost guarantee will at least have a top half of the league defense next season, maybe he decides to do it. But that was kind of the quote that Kirk did say, that he is, would have interest in teaming up with Bill Belichick in Atlanta. And that's kind of gets me back to this with the Vikings. It's just like, there is no guarantee that Kirk is going to fully want to re-sign with you guys next season. Again, I am almost certain if Kirk had to choose one team he would want to play for next year, it is the Vikings. But let's just say Atlanta is like, hey, Kirk, we'll give you 2 for $80, and we'll give you $60 million guaranteed. You can come down here, play with Kyle Pitts, play with Drake London, and have Bill Belichick be your head coach. And the Vikings are sitting there and being like, man, we don't want to offer that. Like, I could easily see that being an outcome of this NFL offseason. And, Kirk is right. There is a lot of decisions that need to be made this March, especially with the Minnesota Vikings, because they're going to go throughout the free agency process. They're going to have to probably make a decision on Kirk Cousins, unless maybe they do decide to wait till after the NFL draft, see if they can land a guy. But I've been still in this kind of stance right now. If you are going to bring Kirk Cousins back, that does not mean you can't draft a quarterback at 11th overall. Like, you can still go out and get a guy like J.J. McCarthy, who is still 21 years old, have him sit behind Kirk Cousins for a year and just kind of take in and just learn how to be a true pros pro. I think that would be a pretty cool outcome, because we've seen it. Hey, as much as I hate the Green Bay Packers, they have another franchise quarterback, and maybe they have figured something out. Have a quarterback sit behind a guy, no matter how great he is, even though Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre are all-time greats, but I think Kirk Cousins can kind of play that same game and be that same guy that, Rodgers was the Jordan Love, just like how Brett Favre was the Rodgers. Kirk could be that guy for a young quarterback as well. And let's just say, Vikings, we bring Kirk back on a 2-year deal, and maybe Kirk goes out and wins MVP this next season. Well, you can just sit him behind him again. Jordan Love didn't play till, I think it was year 4 until him in the league. So I would consider that option, drafting a quarterback still at 11 and bringing Kirk Cousins back. But hey, man, what if a team like Atlanta throws Kirk a fat stack and then he just says, screw it, I'm out, I'm going to go play with Bill Belichick, and then the Vikings may have to start, a rookie quarterback week 1 of the season, which, you never know how it goes, but it could not go good. But speaking about Kirk Cousins, I know this is a controversial topic on Vikings Twitter, Vikings media, and just everywhere I see, people are debating about it. But do you want Kirk Cousins back as QB1 next season? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. I'm going to make this the pinned comment on today's video. So YouTube, they're going to throw an ad break your way. Sit back, scroll down right there. Answer today's pinned comment of if you want Kirk back as QB1. Coming up next here on the show, we're going to be going over my top 5 QB targets for the Vikings next season in order. Who I would pick and rank them to be the QB1 next season. But first, I do want to give a big-time shout-out, big-time shout-out to today's sponsor of Vikings Now, and that is PrizePicks. If you guys head to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use that promo code CLNS, we will hook you guys up with a first deposit match all the way up to $100. PrizePicks, it is daily fantasy sports made easy. All you got to do is pick 2 or more players. You're going to choose more or less on some projected stat types, and you guys can win 25 times your cash today. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Use that promo code CLNS, and you guys can start seeing the cash rolling today. Because I like you guys so much, I'm going to put that link for you guys in the comment section and description of today's show. So check it out. PrizePicks, it's daily fantasy made easy, makes the boring games even a whole lot more entertaining. So get hooked up today. So talking about my top 5 QB targets for the Vikings next season, I think number 1, no doubt, is going to be Kirk Cousins. Listen, I still think back about how good the Vikings were this season. When Kirk obviously went down, I think the Vikings were just about to kind of hit their stride. Everything was coming together. They're cleaning up the turnovers. The defense was complementing the offense, and vice versa. So if I had to choose my QB1 for next season, it would be Kirk. Run it back, but that, like I said before, it doesn't mean you still can't draft a guy. But if we're bringing in any veteran, anyone at all, because I've heard Russell Wilson, I've heard a bunch of these guys connected to the Vikings. If we're bringing back any of those guys, have it be Kirk, have it be number 8. The locker room loves him, the fans love him. I just think it makes too much sense. But number 2 for me, this is J.J. McCarthy at number 11. I have been looking and just thinking about like my top, quarterbacks heading into next season. And who I think is most likely, honestly, I think it's these 2 guys. And you may be saying, well, why J.J. McCarthy over Michael Penix? And that's what I have right here. I think J.J. McCarthy doesn't have the medical concerns that Penix does. He is younger than Michael Penix. And there's just something about McCarthy that he has won at every level. He won state championships in high school. He is the winningest quarterback in college football history with a national championship at Michigan. There's something about just his intangibles, the way he carries himself on and off the football field, and there's something about if you put the right support system around him, and he is that leader, and he is the guy kind of driving the ship for Jefferson, for Hawkinson, for Addison, with the 2 bookend tackles, with the young offensive head coach in Kevin O'Connell. I just think there could be something special there, and maybe I just want to say JJ to JJ on game days. I think that'll be pretty cool, but I'll be all in. I'm McCarthy at 11. I think a lot of people kind of overreact to his, to him maybe not putting up the biggest numbers in college, but I think that's just what Michigan asked him to do. And honestly, I think that speaks to who he is as a leader, because he doesn't need to go throw for 303 to feel like he had a successful night. All he cares about is winning the football game, and there's something about these quarterbacks that no matter where they go, all they do is win. He was coached by Harbaugh. He's got that great tutelage, so JJ, I'm all in. Listen, I like Michael Penix too, but if I had to pick one of those guys, I would probably go JJ McCarthy. And I do have Jaden Daniels at 4. And I'm not saying that, because, listen, Jaden Daniels, I've heard him getting top 5 buzz, and I understand. He won the Heisman this year, and you throw on his highlights, he's electric. But I view him as more of a highlight quarterback. And I look at some of these guys like Jalen Hurts, Justin Fields, and Lamar Jackson. Like, if you aren't a generational athlete at the QB position and you struggle to consistently throw the ball on like the 3rd and 6s, the 3rd and 7s and all that, like you are going to have a tough time in the NFL. So that's why I lean more of the prototypical passers like the Penixes and the J.J. McCarthys, because also I know Jaden Daniels, he's a top-tier athlete, but I don't know if he's on that same level of athlete as a Hurts, Fields, and Lamar. So without him kind of having the same arm as a guy like, McCarthy and Penix, I think he could struggle in the league, and plus you'd probably have to go trade up for him. So that's why I got him at 4. But again, if the Vikings get Jaden Daniels, I would be thrilled about it, because I do believe with most of these quarterbacks coming out, it comes down to where they go. And I think the Vikings can really, really offer a strong support system for whoever it may be. But number 5 for me, and I know a lot of you guys may be smirking at this a little bit, but it's got to be Justin Fields, right? Listen, I don't expect the Bears, if they are going to make a trade, whether it's Fields or Caleb Williams, to send him in the division, just because they probably don't want to play him 2 times a year, just to have to deal with that nonsense. But I got Justin Fields at 5. Maybe the Vikings say, hey, we'll throw you the 42nd overall pick. That's the best offer you're getting. Bring him to Minnesota. And again, support system. That's why no matter who is the quarterback next season for the Vikes, I think they're going to be successful because I believe in what the Vikings have built here offensively, and a lot of it, I believe in number 18. He's going to make that quarterback's job a whole lot easier. Just make the offense a whole lot better. But those are my top 5 quarterback targets heading into next season. Yeah, that's what I think the 5 are most likely. But I do want to end today's show with this. Have a little fun. If you guys made it to the end, this is how I know. So name a random Vikings player down in the comments section. I want you guys to get weird. Name a player that maybe you don't think I know. I'm 24 years old. I'm a younger guy. I would love if you are an older viewer here of the channel to really get creative and let me know your random Vikings player. I'll start off with mine. Not too random. I'll go Sidney Rice from that 2009 season. One of my favorite Vikings receivers I've ever watched. But let me know. Name a random Vikings player down below. See you guys next time. Skol Vikes.